of the keys is our city looks dirty. And I mean, it's filthy, and that needs to change.
And Austin's new budget proposal calls for $500 million in new taxes and fees for people who live in the capital city. Funding to help the homeless, public safety, and infrastructure will all see boosts. Now, KXAN's Tom Miller sat down with Austin Mayor Kirk Watson to go over what's in it and what it will cost you.
I think all in, it's going to be about an additional $95 worth of taxes and fees annually for a household. Will people see those services work better as a result of that?
Oh, I think so. I'll give you an example. Well, there's a lot of money going into creating a better resilience at Austin Energy when you have times of disaster. So whether we have, God forbid, a wildfire or we have another winter storm. Even part of that is $1 million to study whether we ought to, or how we would go about, if we want to, taking the overhead lines and putting them underground. In addition, one of the things that would make government work better, and we're trying to fix, is we discovered that there weren't generators at all of the places we felt like we ought to have generators when the lights go out, like in that winter storm, including at fire stations. That was something we had inherited. Well, this budget allows for some things like that.
I want to talk about homelessness. Yeah. The Ending Community Homelessness Coalition estimates that there's about 4,500 people who are homeless on any given night in Austin. Does this budget look at homelessness, and does it help get to a solution?
Yeah, in fact, this budget goes quite a bit further on homelessness. One of the things that I feel like we inherited when it came to the issue of homelessness was that there had been a kind of an all or nothing approach to it, which was permanent supportive housing. And while we need more permanent supportive housing, what this budget will do is it will make a difference on the entire continuum related to homelessness, including money that is in there for homeless prevention. One of the problems with enforcing the camping ban is if you go and move a group of people here and there's no place for them to go, they end up just going over here and then you're moving them here. So instead of doing that, we're putting money into what are being called emergency shelter beds, but they're essentially non-congregate shelter, so that we'll be able to do that. In addition, there's quite a bit of money that goes into consolidating the way we currently deal with trash. And how we go about cleaning up encampments and things of that nature. One of the keys is our city looks dirty. And I mean, it's filthy, and that needs to change.
Is there going to be enough money to the police department where the staffing levels can get back to what you need them to be?
We are going to be doing the kinds of things we need to do to incentivize more police officers to come into the system and to incentivize officers to not leave the force. This council has already taken action on that, and in terms of just in the past few months, guaranteeing salaries, even in the absence of a police contract, guaranteeing salaries and guaranteeing retirement benefits. But in addition to that, the council voted a 4% pay raise for all the police officers.